Hi, everyone. This is Melanie Shapiro. I'm an immigration lawyer in Norwood, Massachusetts, with an office in Worcester, too. I'm here today because I want to answer your live questions. Anything you want to know about immigration law, you can go ahead and send in your questions. Today has been a very, very busy day at the office. It's noon, 12:18 now. We've already had 5 consultations. Um, so really excited to be able to help a lot of people. So you can go ahead and send me your questions. I'm just waiting for some people to join. I am on YouTube Live and I'm also on Facebook Live. So you can go ahead and send in any questions that you have right now. I'm going to start answering some of the questions that have been sent in. And okay, so the first question that I have is from Nick. How many years does it take to apply for a green card after the EAD? I have almost 2 years for employment card. How long after apply for the green card? The green card for a family, and that is because those cases are normally decided. So the reason why the asylum case, some of the other cases like for VAWA petitions and for U visas and T visas, and this is an update as well. They take a long time, so those work permits are good for 2 years. So previously, the VAWA and U and T work permits were only good for 1 year, but there was an update recently, so now they're good for 2 years. So thank you for your question. Let's see, the next question that I have is from Babita. She says, I have my green card. I sponsored my daughter 6 months ago. How many years will it take to get my daughter to the USA? She has 2 kids. Can I get them in the US by applying for a student visa? They're 15 and 13 years old. So if you have, I'm assuming obviously your daughter is over 21 because she's got those 2 kids. So what you can do is you can look at the visa bulletin, which if you just Google Visa Bulletin, it'll bring it up on the Department of State website. And then you can have an idea based on your category of how long something is going to take. So right now I'm pulling up the Visa Bulletin for March 2022. And there are 2 types of bulletins. There's for the family sponsored preferences and there's for the employment sponsored preferences. So under the family sponsored preferences, for people who have a green card, they're only allowed to apply for their children over 21 who are unmarried. So for that, the category is the F2B category. So if you look at the F2B on the visa bulletin, it's taking about, let's see, 6.5 years. So it'll take about 6.5 years. Thank you for your question. So for those of you just joining, I'm Melanie Shapiro. I'm an immigration attorney in Massachusetts, and I'm here today. I'm here on Mondays and Wednesdays around noon to answer your live questions. So it's a great opportunity to learn more. If you would like to book a consultation with me, the link is in the bio to schedule through Calendly, or you can call the office at 781-461-0100. We have appointments available in person in Norwood and Worcester, Massachusetts. We also do consults over the phone, on WhatsApp, on Zoom, so we can meet with you no matter where you are. All right, so the next question I have is from Jay. I had my interview last year in May, still no update yet. It's marriage-based green card. Is this normal? No, that is not normal at all. So what I would do in this situation, there are a couple things. You can do case status inquiries on the USCIS website. You can write a letter. You can go through a congressional inquiry, or you can force immigration to make a decision on your case by suing them with a petition called a mandamus, which forces them to take action on a severely delayed case. So I've had a success with that before, so that could be a good option for you. The next question I have is from Philippe. Philippe says his asylum has been guaranteed to me. Oh, he won his asylum. Can I apply for the green card in September? My question is, if I marry someone who doesn't have status here in the US, what would happen? Or someone is like a tourist here, for example. So after somebody has been granted asylum, after 1 year, they can apply for a green card. and then it'd probably take about a year for you to get your green card. And if you're married to someone who is in the US who doesn't have any sort of status, you can then apply for them once you get your green card. If you already have that relationship by the time that you win your asylum case, you can do a follow to join petition. Or if you had that relationship at the time that you filed the asylum, then they would get their asylee status through you. Thank you for your question. Um, so I have, let's see. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them into the comments. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Um, the next question that I have is from I want to file a case for my son who is here on an F2 visa. His brother is a citizen. Can he file for him? So, yeah, your other son who is a citizen can file for him if they are over 21. But the problem is that sibling petitions take about 14 years, so it's not a great option. So you should probably send me a message and we can do a consult to see if there's a better way, like if your son can apply for something else. The next question that I have is from Sid. Hello, I want to ask that does the USA government put foreign students in detention centers who apply for asylum? No, they do not. So if you are an F1 student visa and you want to apply for asylum, you can go ahead and do that without being afraid that you're going to get put into an immigration detention facility. And definitely not based on that reason. If you have other reasons, like if you have a serious criminal offense or if you're some sort of security risk to the US government, then yeah, you would get detained. But if you've never been arrested, you don't have any crimes, and you're just here on a student visa and then you apply for asylum, you should be okay. You have a very low risk of being detained. So thank you for your question. The next question, if you guys have any more questions, you can go ahead and send them in. Uh, so I hope everybody's having a great day. Uh, I think that I know I have a couple more questions that I'm going to get to in a minute. So if you want to, just again, if you want to set up a consultation, go ahead and click on the link in the bio, the Calendly link, and you can schedule a consultation with me. Okay, so I have another question here from Arif. I have applied for humanitarian parole and moved to a third country, but at the time of the application, I have not gotten refugee status in the third country, but now I have gotten refugee status from UNHCR in the third country. Should I inform USCIS about my refugee status, or once they approve my case, then should I inform them? Please kindly guide me, madam. I mean, how can I inform USCIS that I've gotten refugee status after the submission of my application? So you can email the Humanitarian Affairs Branch, which is the one that is processing the humanitarian parole cases. And you can update them that now you're in a third country, you've received refugee status from UNHCR, so you're probably gonna have to wind up just staying in that country. I have filed about 60 humanitarian parole cases, and I have received 0 decisions on them. I don't know what is going on, why it's taking so long. I know that they're approving some cases or they're doing decisions on some cases from the end of August, early September, but there's been really no movement because of the surge of Afghan humanitarian parole cases. So I think your best bet is to just move forward with UNHCR refugee status, and just let the Humanitarian Affairs Branch with USCIS know about that. So the next question that I have is from Philippe. I was an au pair for 2.5 years. I got married 1 year ago in April, the same month that my visa expired. My husband doesn't make enough money to keep the process. He just discovered now and wants a divorce. What options do I have to stay here as an immigrant? So if your J1 visa expired, then you have to look at whether or not it's subject to 2-year foreign residency requirement, because most of the J1s do have that requirement on there. So that would be your first step. The other thing is you would want to look at if you are afraid to return to your country, do you possibly have a case for asylum? Depending on how your husband treated you, if your husband was abusive, you could look at filing a VAWA petition, which is a Violence Against Women Act petition. And that's available to people who've suffered battery or extreme cruelty from their US citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse. So if that has happened, you can apply for that. You'd also want to look at if you might qualify for a U visa, which is for victims of violent crime. So I would highly suggest that we meet and discuss your case and see if you have any options to stay in the US. Thank you for your question. Ija says, I am in a third country. I emailed USCIS. Did they are priority my case? So, Ijas, if you are in a third country and you emailed USCIS letting them know that you're in the third country, that means that they can complete the processing on your case. If you are still within Afghanistan, they cannot make any decision on your case. So there, but that said, as I previously mentioned, I've so many cases for humanitarian parole that are pending that I haven't received any decisions on. So we're really kind of in the dark about that process right now. So thank you for your question. I wish you the best of luck with that case. Um, so if you have any more questions, go ahead and send them in. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off and have some lunch. And I will be back on Wednesday at noon to answer your questions live again. If you have anything you want to know, you can go ahead and send it in. And if you want to schedule an appointment, go ahead and get in touch. Oh, I have a question that just came in from DeAndre. My spouse worked last year without proper documentation to do so. IRS provided him a statement that with the amount that was reported to them. Would this hinder his process? We are currently waiting on the approval of the I-130 filed in 2021. So DeAndre, if you are a US citizen, um, then this working without authorization technically is illegal, but it's not a huge deal, and it isn't a ground to deny to make him ineligible to adjust his status based on being married to a US citizen. So I hope that helps your question. And you should always just be upfront with immigration, never try to lie or conceal anything because it's much better if you are upfront and then than them finding out that you lied about something. Thank you for your question. Okay. Well, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will be back Wednesday at noon to answer more questions. Bye.